Hope you all are doing great and safe in your life. Now, today we are all going to learn about income tax. Okay? The word itself creates a fear in everyone's mind, whether it is on an academic level or whether it is on a personal level. As a personal level, normal human being always gets afraid. I'm talking about especially Indians. The income tax is like, oh my god, we have to pay. Now it's we have to file a return, whether it's safe or not. Why we should pay it? Is it good or not? On the other hand, when we see it is an on an academic level, on students mind it always create a fear that we have to study income tax. Oh my god, such a long book, such a long sections, such a long topics, such a long topic to study. But no, it's not like that. And when we see about UGC net JRF paper 2, income tax is the last topic, that is unit 10. And as a student, whenever we start to study, there is always a high level of energy in the initial topic and in the initial unit. But when we start studying and when we come to the last topic, the energy level ultimately goes down. और इनकम टैक्स के मैटर में क्या होता है कि हम लोग सोचते हैं कि जाने दो, तुक्का मार लेंगे. But that tukka thing always create a hurdle to attain the position of JRF, because every marks matter, every question matter. So without wasting our time for more and giving after giving such a long lecture, let's move to the topic. So let's give a start to it. Okay, when we talk about income tax, first of all, we all are aware about the fact that tax is not a new term in today's century or today's world. In when we see our history, when we see our monarchy rule, king rule, at that time also people used to pay revenue or a type of tax to their king. When they were producing agriculture, a part of crop they have to submit to their king or to the sarpanch of the village. When we talk about lagan, that lagan is also a form of tax that people have to pay to the British government. So in today's world, we pay income tax to the government. Why? Because it is a source of revenue through which government helps in the development of our country. So it's a very relevant from economic point of view, from commerce point of view. For a lame person, it might be they might be having thought that why income tax. But as a commerce and economic student, we know how relevant an income tax is. And in academic purpose also, it's a very important subject to gain and achieve something new as a commerce student. So we start our introduction. Now, when we talk about taxes, we all know that our Indian, we are mostly importantly directly emphasizing on India and not the whole world, because we have to study about India, what are the taxes provision in India and what type of government India is having. So when we talk about government, we know that our government has been divided into three crucial parts, that is the central, state and local. So taxes in India are being levied by both central state government. Some of the minor taxes are being levied by local government or municipal authorities also. We know we pay municipal tax, we pay income tax, we pay VAT, we pay service tax, we pay GST. All are being divided into three types of government. Their head has been divided, that who will take the authority to impose that taxes. Okay, now moving ahead, when we talk about taxes, taxes are broadly classified into two types: direct taxes and indirect taxes. Okay, when we will see books, when we see internet, when we see the main language or main definitions of these taxes, we usually find the word that direct taxes are those taxes in which the incidence and the burden fall on the same person. But I have written in a very lean and simple language that what does exactly the direct taxes means. Direct taxes are those taxes which are paid directly to the government by a person and cannot be transferred to another person. Example, income tax. For example, Mr. X, he has income of 5 lakh. Okay? He cannot transfer his liability to Y, who is his brother. He himself has to pay the income tax on this 5 lakh rupee. So that's what that means, that taxes which are paid directly to the government by a person and cannot be transferred, main reason cannot be transferred to the another person, are direct taxes. Okay, now moving ahead, what does indirect taxes mean? Indirect taxes are those which we do not pay to the government directly, okay, but indirectly. And what are the examples? That is GST, service tax. Okay, let's one time leave GST and service tax. Whenever we purchase a good, whenever we purchase an item, say we purchase a kurkure or OS of 5 rupees. Okay, whenever we look at the back, always there is a word inclusive of all taxes, right? What does that mean? That all types of taxes are being included in that 5 rupees which you are paying. Means you pay 5 rupees to the shopkeeper, but that shopkeeper goes to the wholesaler, then retailer, then the production. Then there is a whole chain of market that you are following, and every in that 5 rupee a piece of tax you pay, and that goes to government indirectly. Okay, so I hope you all are clear that what direct and indirect taxes exactly mean. Direct taxes are those taxes which are being paid directly, while indirect taxes are those which are not being paid indirectly but indirectly. Means a third party or a second party or a lot of parties are being involved in paying those taxes. Okay, after this I will talk and take a brief discussion about history of income tax in India. Okay, it's not very tough, or it's not very much, I won't say that it's not relevant from exam point of view, because if this word is said, we have a tendency in mind that we won't study that topic. I know, because I'm also a student, but we don't have to consider that thing. As a student, we will go through it, we will study what exactly that income tax history is. Okay, income tax was first time introduced in India by Sir James Wilson in 1863. Okay, in 18, not, I beg your pardon, it's 1860. In 188, okay, first time it was being introduced by Sir James Wilson in 1860. After that, in 1885, an income tax act was being passed in the parliament. Okay, when this act was passed, it remained in effect till 1918. In 1918, another act was passed which remained till 1922. Okay, after that, what happened? World War II happened in 1922. So there was a sudden emergency to have a provision, or to check out that what people are exactly doing with the tax. Are they doing tax evasion? That is, इसको हिंदी में बोले तो टैक्स की चोरी. Are they doing that? They are doing illegal work to prevent their taxes. For that, and taxation inquiry committee was set by John Mathari in 1922 due to World War II. After that, what happened? The committee remained in force. Then in 1958, Direct Tax Administration Inquiry Committee was being set up. Why? To give measures for inconvenient to assessee and to prevent erosion of tax. After that, this committee was set to find out that what loopholes our tax and provisions have. Then finally, the bill was passed, and in 1961 we have Income Tax Act, the most important part of the whole history of income tax in India. That from starting to 1860, we had finally Income Tax Act in 1961. Our history is very long, but I have tried my best to make it short and brief to make you understand that at first time it was being introduced by Sir James Wilson in 1860. Then after that, inquiry was set up in 1958, and finally in 1961 Income Tax Act was being passed. So that's all about the history of income tax in India. Okay, now moving to the next. Some basic concepts. So that was our first point of syllabus of income tax. Okay. So here I am talking about some basic concepts. There are almost many basic concepts that we have to understand in order to study income tax. But in today's lecture, we are going to study only a few of them, because I know in one day if I go to study whole, you will get confused and not able to learn it. The most important thing for any student to understand a chapter is to understand. Doesn't matter how much hour we give to study, it always matters how much quantity we give to study. So today we will understand some basic concepts too. So we will lay a foundation to understand an income tax. So let's go to it. What is actually income tax is, and who is assessee, who is the person, what is income, we are going to study today that. Okay. Every person whose total income of the year exceeds the maximum amount not chargeable to income tax or a limit set by a government is an SSE, and it's taxable at the rate or rates prescribed by the Finance Act for the relevant assessment year. What does that mean? I repeat, read it again. That every person whose total income of previous year, okay, here previous year means we are living in 2020. I'm talking just a personal life, not in the terms of accounting. We are here living in 2020, then our previous year would be 2019. Okay, same way in accounting terms or in the terms of taxation, if we are earning income of previous year, we will calculate that, and if it exceeds the maximum amount not chargeable to income tax, for example in current slab up till to till 5 lakh, suppose it is our government. I'm not talking about that it is correct or not, because I will discuss tax slab in our next topic. Suppose 5 lakh is the limit set by the government, that up to 5 lakh income tax is being exempted. So that's the maximum limit. If it is a maximum amount that it would not be chargeable to income tax, इसके ऊपर अगर पैसा कोई अर्न करता है, then it would be taxable to income tax. Okay, so अगर ये maximum amount है, अगर इसकी limit इससे 5 लाख से कोई exceed करता है, then he would be governed by as an SSC. SSC कौन होता है? The person who is liable to pay tax. Okay, whose total income exceeds the limit being set by the government. And who sets that limit? By our finance minister. Okay, by it is being prescribed by the Finance Act. Okay, so that's the our criteria how income tax is being judged. Okay, I'll read once again. Every person whose total income of previous year exceeds the maximum amount not chargeable to income tax or a limit set by government is an SSC. फर्स्ट पार्ट, SSC कौन है? जिसका इनकम जो है उस क्या बोलते हैं, सरपास कर चुका है मैक्सिमम लिमिट को. ओके, and is taxable at the rate or rates prescribed by the Finance Act for the relevant assessment year. So that's why he is being taxable. Okay, now talking to the next. I have written in a very simple language that SSC is a person who is liable to pay tax. Okay, so first two things is kept in mind, that who is an SSC and who will pay tax. Now third thing by calculating income tax is the total income of person also depend upon its residential status. When we talk about residential, so residential status, this topic we will study in our next lecture, that what is residential status, who are residents, who are ordinary resident, non-ordinary resident. One of the most important point of calculating income tax, and one of the most important topic from which question is most likely to come in our exams. Okay, that's what the whole income tax is all about, that it depends upon SSC and it also depends upon the residential status, and it is calculated on the income which exceeds the maximum limit being set by the government of India. Okay, after that, who is the person means, this topic is very important to understand, especially by section. That person is defined in being in section 231. Okay, section 231 defines what is a person. A person includes the following. Now who are being included in this person? सबसे पहले important है इसका section learn करना. section 231, I repeat, section 231 is a section of person. Now कौन कौन आता है? What is a person in terms of income tax? Person includes an individual, normal इंसान, a Hindu and divided family, a company, a firm, association of a person or a body of individual, whether incorporated or not, a local authority, any other artificial person. So these 7 heads are being included as a person. कौन कौन? An individual, an HUF, a company, a firm, an association of a person or a body of individual, whether incorporated or not, a local authority, any other artificial person. Now I will explain one by one what does that mean. When we talk about an individual, it comes like me, you, and any other person of your family. Okay, when we talk about HUF, we already know that HUF is a type of form of a company which is being passed by the Hindu Succession Act. so that HUF is liable to pay tax. Okay, when we talk about company, now what does a company include? I have mentioned that a company can include an Indian company, okay, and body incorporated under the law of foreign country, any institution, association or body, whether Indian or not. Okay, it's not important that whether you are Indian or not, whether incorporated or not, which is declared by the Central Board of Direct Taxes to be a company. If it is declared by CBDT that it's a company and it has to pay tax, it has to pay tax. Okay, दैट अगर उनको बोला गया कि आपको पे करना है तो आपको पे करना पड़ेगा, और ये डिपेंड करता है ना कि आपकी वर्किंग किधर है। इसके सब कुछ एक्सेप्शनल केसेस भी हैं जो हम आगे डिस्कस करेंगे कि कंपनी कौन सा काम करती है, कितना सिचुएटेड है, उसकी हेडक्वार्टर्स किधर सिचुएशन है, उसकी इनकम किधर सप्लाई हो रही है, एंड व्हाट इज़ द रेजिडेंशियल स्टेटस ऑफ दैट कंपनी टू, that we all will discuss in our next topic. But what is a company that is being considered for taxation, that I have explained, I'll repeat it again, that whether it is an Indian company, okay, and body incorporated under the law of foreign country, that foreign country is being incorporated, but इसके कौन सा फॉरेन में आएगा कौन सा नहीं आएगा, देयर आर सम एक्सेप्शन टू द रूल एंड वी ऑल विल डिस्कस इन डिटेल. Any institution, association or body, whether Indian or not, whether incorporated or not. And what does incorporation means? There are stages to formation of company. Okay, so incorporation is the second stage after the promotion and then after commencement. So whether it is incorporated or not, but if it is declared by CBDT to be a company, it would be chargeable to tax. Okay, that what was the definition of a company. When we talk about a firm, what does that firm mean? Simply a partnership firm which is defined under the partnership. We know that two or more persons when come together to form a company under an agreement, it is a partnership firm. So that here in the terms of income tax also, a firm means a partnership which is being defined under the Partnership Act. Okay, now next topic was an association of a what does association of person means? Association of person means two or more person coming together for purpose of earning income. If I and you are coming together for purpose of earning income and it is not being defined under Partnership Act, because Partnership Act also indicates that if you are coming together to form a company, you have to pay tax. But if I am and you are coming together to earn some business or some money, and if we have our income is exceeding that limit which is being set by the government, we have to pay tax. Okay, now next is the local authorities, includes municipality, municipal corporation or district board. Okay, we know that municipal tax we have to pay for the local government, so if we will pay municipal tax, then that municipal authority also has to pay tax. ओके देर लाइक जैसे सीढ़ी होती है ना ऊपर से नीचे जो हमको टेरेस तक पहुंचाती है, सेम दैट वे टैक्स ऑल्सो डिवाइड्स. इनडायरेक्टली टैक्स के साथ यही होता है, हम किसी को पे करते हैं, वो किसी को पे करता है, फिर फाइनली वो गवर्नमेंट के खाते में जाता है. सो दैट्स व्हाट वी विल पे म्यूनिसिपल टैक्स, municipal tax will be paid to the state government and then to the CBD, central government. Okay, now when we talk about artificial person, what is artificial person means? Includes a public incorporation established under the special act of legislature, an idol or deity or university. Means any public incorporation है जो कि special act of parliament के through pass हुआ है. Okay, as we know that railways and some companies, they all are being considered as a they are being passed by the special act of parliament. When we talk about idol or deity, it means a representative. Okay, if we are representative any institution, we are considered as an artificial person. Or universities, they all have to pay tax. Whatever education fees we have to pay, they have to pay education tax. Everything, everywhere our money is being paid on something, tax is being included. Okay, so I hope you all are clear that what does the person mean, definition mean. First of all, most important, it is being defined under section 231. Next, it includes 7 points: individual, HUF, company, firm, association of person, local authority or any other artificial person. Next, I have concluded that what does the company mean, what does the firm means, what does association of person means, what local authority means, and what does artificial person means. So that was the definition of person. Okay, now we will talk about deemed SSC. Now, who is deemed as? I have already explained who is SSC. The person who is liable to pay tax. Now there are two terms: deemed SSC and also an SSC in default. But SSC in default is also a kind of like a person who becomes SSC without. Now, deemed SSC is a person who is deemed to be SSC for some other person. Is called deemed SSC. Means कि अगर कोई किसी और के प्लेस पर एसएससी बन गया देन ही सेड टू बी डीम्ड एसएससी. ओके, and before that I was talking about SSC in default. I have not mentioned in this PDF but in this lecture, but SSC in default is also kind of same that situation made him SSC, that is SSC in default. Okay, when we talk about deemed SSC, here is an example that after the death of a person, his legal representative is treated as deemed SSC for the income on which tax was not paid. Example, Mr. X. Okay, his legal representative was Y. X died in between. Okay, he died. When he died, there was a part of income tax which he didn't pay. Now इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि वो मर गया then all story is finished. Now Mr. Y will pay income tax. So Mr. Y would be considered as deemed SSC. Okay, so that's what deemed SSC is all about. Now when we talk about the assessment year, what is assessment? There are two important terms in which our income tax is being calculated. Assessment year. What is assessment year? Assessment year is a period of 12 months in which the income tax is liable to pay. So currently our income assessment year is 2020 and 21. That is 1st April 2020 to 31st March 2021. But since everything is changed due to COVID scenario, still we will consider our accounting year the same. So let's see what our books and will publish, because I haven't found anywhere still as a legal proof that our accounting year started from July 1st, although it is being declared by the government. But since normally we will consider that 1st April 2020 to 31st March 2021. Okay, now talking about the previous year. When we talk about the previous year, what does that mean? Period preceding the assessment year in which the income is earned, means just before the our current period. So our previous year would be 2019 to 2020, means 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2020. Okay, we will talk about gross total income. So before moving to gross total income, we know that income has been defined under section 224, and when we will see the definition of income, it is a broad perspective covering 18 points. Okay, so in short, it being concluded in 5 heads. It has been described as gross total income under section 80b5, and these 5 heads are the most relevant point of income tax, as they are considered as income from various sources on which income tax is being calculated of the assessee. So what is gross total income? The aggregate of income under the following head is known as gross total income. And what are that heads? Income from salaries, income from house property, profit and gain from business and profession, capital gain, and income from other sources. Okay, so these are the 5 heads on which income tax is being calculated. Now moving to the next, when it is being explored in vast category, these are all included in the definition of income, and this definition includes many points, so students may confuse regarding how they were going to by hearted. So it's better to understand only this 5 head, and when we will study this 5 head in details, we will get to know about that 18 points which is being mentioned in the definition of income under section 224. So right now it is important to learn the section in which the income has been defined. So income has been defined under section 224, and gross total income has been defined under section 80b5. Okay, now if we revise what is the section under which person has been defined, so person has been defined under section 231, person 231, income 235, 224 sorry, and gross total income 80b5. Okay, now this is the last topic of today's lecture. that what would be the difference between what is total income and what is the difference between gross total income and total income. When we talk about total income, it comes under section 245. It means the amount left after making deduction from under section 80C to 80U from gross total income. These deductions are very important to learn for any individual for assessing the income tax. एंड ऑल्सो नेट एग्ज़ाम में बहुत क्वेश्चंस आते हैं डिडक्शंस को लेके। हालांकि होता बहुत इजी है, कुछ रिलेवेंट कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट डिडक्शंस हैं जो सब नहीं आते, बट दी डिडक्शंस आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड टू लर्न ऑल्सो। सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट टोटल इनकम, जब भी ग्रॉस टोटल इनकम में से मीन्स जीटी से हम डिडक्शंस माइनस करते हैं तब हमको टोटल इनकम मिलती है। ऑलराइट, सो ग्रॉस टोटल इनकम मीन्स total income means gross total income minus deduction. So here's some differences between gross total income and total income. That is, gross total means income means aggregate of various head of income is called gross total income, that is those 5 heads, while total income is after deduction under section 80C to 80U, the balance is called total income. When we talk about gross total income, it is never rounded off, while total income is rounded off to the nearest multiple 10 rupees, because this is the ultimate amount we have to pay. So it is very necessary that we should calculate the exact amount. Okay, tax is not levied on gross total income. We never calculate tax on gross total income. We always calculate tax on our total income, and this is the most relevant point to understand. Okay, now gross total income cannot be less than the total income, but total income can be equal to GTI, that is gross total income, or less than gross total income. सो ग्रॉस टोटल इनकम इसका बराबर नहीं हो सकता टोटल इनकम का, लेकिन टोटल इनकम क्या हो सकता है, इट कैन बी इक्वल टू ग्रॉस टोटल इनकम और लेस देन जीटीआई। ऑब्वियसली ग्रॉस टोटल इनकम में से डिडक्शन माइनस होता है तब टोटल इनकम आती है। ओके, तो ये इसके इक्वल नहीं हो सकता, लेकिन ये इसके इक्वल हो सकता है और इससे लेस हो सकता है। ओके, सो gross total income cannot be less than total income, while total income can be equal to GTI or less than GTI. Again, most important point, agricultural income is not included in GTI, while if agricultural income exceeds rupees 5,000, it is included in the total income of an individual or HUF to determine the tax payable by the SSC. Okay, agriculture income is one of the most important topic to study, that we will go detail further. But when we talk about the differences, that in gross total income agricultural income को calculate और considered नहीं किया जाता, जबकि in place of total income if it exceeds rupees 5,000, then only it is being included in total income of individual HUF to determine the tax payment. Okay, so that's what's the difference between gross total income and total income. And giving a brief review of what we have studied today, we actually understood what actually income tax means, why it is being so important, what was the history. Most important thing, that the Income Tax Act was passed in the year 1961. Then who is SSC, who is liable to pay, what is the definition of a person, what does each and every point of the person means, what is assessment year, what is previous year, what is gross total income, and what is total income. So that's it, we are ending for today. In the next topic, we will study further more topics regarding income tax. Also, we will understand the residential status, and with regard to that, we will solve some of the previous year question. So I hope you will revise today's lecture and you enjoy it. Till then, be safe and happy and Independence Day in advance. Thank you.